boop, 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 boop. Hey guys, whoa! Hey guys, Jamieleigh and Jinxie here. Might just need to start introducing you first, sir. With a really exciting video today that I hope you guys are gonna find a lot of value from. Did you want to do the talking? I'm sure people would love that way more. Jinx is going to be my demo bird today, and this is going to be a lot of fun for not only you guys, but definitely for him. Correctamundo? Handsome? Oh, handsome. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about today is 14 easy tips and tricks to introduce your bird to foraging. Now I have a free download if you guys are more interested in seeing photos and text and like a guide basically. If you learn better that way, or you want to have something that you can actually hold, print out, and look at, you can print that. It's just a free download. You check out as normal, you just don't pay anything, and then the download is sent to your email. So I will leave that in the video description for you guys. Just launched that on my website and I'm really excited about it. But I wanted to make a little bit of a video version with the help of Jinxie to show you some really simple, non-time consuming foraging ideas. Now ideally your bird should be foraging for the healthy stuff, such as fresh foods if you can, and I'll explain more of that in my guide. You'll see how we use fresh food as foragers. He's already looking at some of my supplies over there. But foraging, getting your bird to forage for his own pellets is a really awesome tactic, because not only is it time consuming, teaches them to self-entertain, and only time consuming for them, by the way, but also it gets your bird mentally engaged and keeps it from screaming. So instead, it's busy looking for its meal. So instead of just eating directly out of a bowl and taking 10 minutes, it's actually taking a lot more time, and you get a lot more peace and quiet in your household. Because these guys are not that quiet. Although you're being really good right now. Now, one of the things that I do with my birds in my aviaries is as they destroy their toys, I pick up any sort of chunks of toys that I can salvage. Now, this means that it can't be toy parts that have been in poop or got really nasty and dirty. Definitely disregard those. But if you find pieces that you can salvage, this is what I do with those. So, for instance, this was actually from Jinx's cage. This came off one of his toys, one of his foraging toys. These are literally the insides and outsides of the natural toys that I give them. So just fun stuff, and this is from their party perches. So Bondi did this, and this is literally a chunk of toy that they broke off and dropped at the bottom of the cage, and I was able to salvage it before anything nasty happened to it, like it got pooped on, and this is more from that. Now, what I don't want you guys to use is any sort of plastic beads or plastic parts. Do not give your bird plastic to chew on. They will break it. It will have a sharp edge. It's not good. So stick to natural things. We even have, because I have a 7-year-old who loves crafts, we have a lot of just natural popsicle sticks around our house. You could also use stuff like that. So just think pieces of paper crunched up, real simple stuff, guys. Doesn't need to be anything elaborate. As you can see, these are just remains from my bird's toys. So instead of giving your bird its pellets in a bowl and that's it, that's really freaking boring, guys. And I'm gonna mix some pine nuts in here just to give them a little extra incentive. And you would simply put some of this stuff in a bowl, and I'm letting him watch, and I'm gonna stack this stuff on top. Now this might be a bit much for your bird. You might want to start with just a few things where they can easily see it. But I'm going to show you what happens when Jinx gets a hold of this. All right. And as you can see, Jinx got to the good stuff. He found all the food inside just by moving that stuff out of the way. So this time, let's make it a little bit harder. You passed level 1 foraging, bud. I think we should move on, all right? So, level 2. And guys, I'm gonna show you a simpler version in case your bird is not this advanced. I'm only gonna put a couple treats in here for Jinxie. But for example, hold on a sec, bud. I was trying to show them. Okay, you wanna get this ready without your bird helping you. But I'm gonna drop a couple treats in the bowl. He's eating pellets. And I'm just gonna cover it with a piece of paper, okay? Super simple, easy. A lot of birds will just knock this off on accident. Hey, Jinxie, there's stuff in there. So as you can see, you can give them a little bit of a reminder. Each and every little thing is gonna give them a little boost of confidence. Okay, this time, I'm gonna add a few more treats back in. And I'm actually gonna wrap the bowl in the paper so it holds on a little bit more. We'll see if Jinx can get that. Ooh. There we go. Way too easy. All right, so, and that was even making it a little bit harder because it actually hung on. So you can see he got to his goodies, and the way to make that harder would be to have all this stuff on top. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll let him finish what he earned. Okay. So this time, I'm filling the bowl with all this stuff. And I'm going to wrap it. I'm gonna try to put the bowl on top of it so that he can't get to it as easily. Will you quit looking at my thing of treats I keep filling with? Okay, it's ready for you. Also, not that Jinx needs it, but I'm just gonna show you real quick. If your bird needs the help, you can poke little holes on the front to kind of give them a little extra help. You can also make these holes really big at first and then make them smaller and smaller. Another thing you can do is if your bird is still nervous, you can take like a little pine nut like that and stick it in the holes. Not only will that help keep it down, but it'll give your bird that initial reaction of checking it out, realizing there's more goodness inside, and going for it. So as you can see, this can be a really fun just engagement activity to do with your bird. It doesn't necessarily have to take place in the cage, but it is a fun thing for them to be able to do in their cage as well, so that you can have your own alone time and they look forward to going back in the cage to play this game and have this much fun. Good job, buddy. To make this even harder, if you guys have a bird like Jinx who just has no problem, no hesitation at this, you can do the same thing. Don't poke the holes in the top, and make sure that the paper is on and tie it with string around to really keep it intact. You make sure that you're using something that your bird can't actually ingest or eat, and you can use a little bit of rope from our rope toys if you want. But something to just kind of keep that piece of paper on so they actually have to break through. Ideally, he's going to have to break through this to get there. And then the next thing you can do is use multiple pieces of paper. So use 2 pieces of paper and then 5 or something like that to make it thicker of a wall for them to have to spend more time breaking through. And they will just have at it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to engage with or without your bird. Give him something that he can work on by himself, or like this, bring it outside of the cage and do it with them just as a fun activity. See how creative you guys can get. So I do want to emphasize that I want to make sure you guys are using natural, safe materials for birds, that you aren't getting so creative and outside the box that you're using toys that are not meant for birds or meant for them to destroy. So be really mindful of the materials that you use. Again, in my freebie, it's just a free download, goes straight to your email. I'll leave it in the video description. It talks about materials that you can use to give you some other ideas different from what you saw here, and it also tells you what not to use. So I include a list of both just to keep our feathered guys safe. Bubba! Thanks for the demo, what a mess. Did you do all this? You did all this. Just a couple more ways that you can expand this. If your bird's enclosure has multiple food dishes, do this in multiple dishes and just make it so that one bowl has 3 pellets, one bowl has 1 pellet, one bowl has 10 pellets, you know, however you need to divide it up. But make it fun and interesting so your bird never knows or never expects how many treats or pellets it's going to find. Now initially, you may have to use just treats. JINX is pretty accustomed to foraging, and so this is not anything that's crazy new to him as a concept. So he is willing to forage for his pellets, but ideally birds can be foraging for their dry foods, which is a lot of fun and makes it so that the evening is a little bit more calm for everybody. So definitely share in the comments what kind of tips and tricks you used from either my freebie or from the stuff that I showed you in this video, how it worked for your bird, and maybe offer some tips to everybody else so that we can spread the knowledge of foraging for our birds and keep them more engaged with us. Okay, for the next part of this video, I wanted to show you some interesting stuff that has to do with my rose-breasted cockatoo, Bondi, and some of the stuff that you saw JINX get to play with is just because of Bondi. So we have added these party perches to our toy line. This is what they are supposed to look like when they kind of start out, although the Conures have had at this a bit. So these are made of bamboo and they have some fun stuff inside for your birds to destroy. And they also get to stand on it. This is what Bondi did to hers. The end used to be pink, like you see here, and so she destroyed this. I'm still going to give it back to her to be able to destroy what is left, but this is how I got some stuff that JINX was able to use and forage through. So these are included in our toy bundles, so if you're interested, we have you're cuddling. We have 5 toy foraging bundles. Now these are literally 5 toys delivered to your door that are all about foraging. So you can either give them to your bird as is, which I took some from my bird's aviary. Obviously yours will come intact, but this is one of our toys. Now it may look like your bird can just destroy this, and they definitely can, but if you want to make it into a foraging toy, you can simply add large nuts in between here, or you can take pieces of paper, wrap up pellets, and stick them in between the pieces. Now, when your bird breaks off these pieces, that's when you can use it in your bird's dish as a little time consumer for your bird. But otherwise, I'm gonna show you how we do this. And it's really good to let your bird be part of this process so they see what they're going for. So I'm gonna take some pine nuts. I'm gonna put them in a piece of paper. So the first thing that you want to do is accustom your bird that this has food in it. So simply let them watch you do it and then give it to your bird and let them destroy it. I'm going to move some toys around right here. Whoa! And then you're going to give this to your bird and teach your bird to destroy this and open it up. Oh, she's just handing it to me because she knows the retrieve. So let's try again. Good. Good job. So the first thing that you want to do is teach your bird that inside crumpled pieces of paper are treats and or pellets, depending on what you can get your bird to search for. So I'm going to start working with, oh, Bondi's putting it in the bowl. That is a trick that you know. This is going to be confusing for you, huh? Okay, go ahead and open it. Good job. Good job, Bondi. Once your bird understands that, which Bondi clearly does because she's gotten 2 treats out of it, you can then incorporate that into some of the larger toys. Now this is a large toy that I normally give my macaws, but if I wanted to make it work for Bondi as a foraging toy, I would simply put that paper into there and then hang that up and do it at a level where she could reach it from a perch. and let her go get it. Now you can make it harder and harder and harder by moving the toys to places that are harder and harder for the bird to get to. So it may have to go destroy something, wait for it to fall to the bottom, and then run and get it. Or if you have a grate down at the bottom, you might want to put a little shelf to act as kind of a catch-all when they are doing their foraging stuff. Now the other ways to use this, I'm going to set this aside, although she might go for it. I'm just going to show you some of the toys that come in our foraging line that make it so that you can hide stuff. Again, you can fit them in between things. These have kind of been a little bit destroyed already for my birds. And we love giving you guys coconuts in our toys because they usually last fairly long. So you can hide stuff up and in here. And remember, you don't have to necessarily hang this. This is something that you could have out on a table. Remember, foraging doesn't always have to happen in the cage. It can happen outside of the cage with you. Okay, now our party perches, as I mentioned, you can add stuff to these. These are very, very simple and easy to add little treats and pellets into, or you can just simply give them as is. This one was just given to Bondi as is. I didn't hide anything in it. She just naturally wanted to destroy it, which is really, really fun. So that's kind of the purpose of the foraging toys that we send in our bundle, is that you can just provide them for your bird and they are naturally gonna forage through by destroying everything out of them because they have stuff hidden inside. Now the stuff they have hidden inside currently is just a variety of textures. So it's really fun for birds to explore into that. But if you want to add food, that's always a fun option to just make it a little bit more interesting. One of my favorite foraging toys is this one. I put two of them together, but you will see that it has a little bit of a pattern and you can open these up and wedge things in between. So this is something you could do with pellets, or little sunflower seeds would fit great, especially if you have small birds and you're feeding small things. You can fit them all in here and your bird will spend a long time trying to destroy this. As you can see, this one has a few bite marks in it and has some chew stuff in it already, but honestly, the more they chew it, the easier it is for you to add foraging elements to it. So it can be really, really fun. Okay. I wanted to show them what the macaws have been doing to our coconut toy. Now this is one of our giant toys, and it literally has been through it with my macaws. As you can see, they are pulling off the outside of the coconut on all the coconuts. They're going to town on them, which is really great because then it gives me something to stuff the bowls with. Now the other cool thing is that it's pretty hard for them to fully destroy the coconut. So this toy lasts a while and I can keep refilling it. I can put stuff in here, whether it's just a bunch of different types of paper. I can stuff all these pieces in there and they're really interested to find out. You can also do the paper thing where you stuff pieces of paper in there that have stuff in there. So when they pull out the paper, they're getting something along with it. So all these toys are definitely designed with the bird in mind to appeal to them and their natural instincts of wanting to feel those different textures, feel those preening materials, and explore with their beaks. So I hope that you guys enjoy these, and don't forget to get that free download with 14 tips and tricks on how to introduce foraging to your bird, whether you need to train it or whether or not they naturally take to some of the fun stuff that I've showed you in this video today. She's already playing with toy scraps that are falling all over the table as I speak. Thanks for helping me. I decided to team up with Katie's Birds on Instagram, and I asked her to do a little demo video of one of the ways that she gets creative and feeds some of her aviary birds. Now, Katie specializes in working with birds that have self-mutilation problems. This means they pluck, but sometimes it goes even beyond plucking their own feathers out and actually continues to where they literally bite into their own skin. So this self-mutilation can be very, very intense, and she specializes in working with these types of behaviors and using foraging as her #1 tool to overcoming and reversing this type of learned behavior.
Hi, I'm Katie. If you don't know me already, I deal with a lot of self-mutilating birds, so birds that pluck their own feathers. Foraging is so important. So these are cheap, you can buy them on eBay. These actually come off as well. And you can put any kinds of things in there. Birds love to have what they can't have. If you know anything about your own pets, when you're trying to eat your own food, you know they always try and steal your food off you. Well, this kind of works as the same sort of thing. if I offer them celery and corn or whatever and put it all in a bowl, sometimes they'll just look at it and walk off and not even be interested. But you put it in here, all of a sudden they think they're not allowed to have it and they want it. It becomes something they want to work at. I put things in, even like whole apples, whole kiwi fruit, some broccoli, chilies. You can add things like nuts, walnuts. Even if your birds can't get through them, it works as a little bit of a blocker to stop the birds eating everything out of there too quickly. I do have some major Mitchells that can crack those. Don't know if they'll be able to get it through there, but good luck to them. I've got in here, this is all my homegrown, so I've got some celery, some lettuce, some basil, parsley, a few other bits. And so these kinds of things you can jam in there quite firmly, because obviously if they're too loose they're just going to pull them straight out, and you want them to be really working to get everything out of here. And the birds find that so much more amusing than having it in chopped up little bits of chop that you'd feed them. That takes them hours to get through. They love trying to get to it. Honestly, they really do enjoy it. Here, Lexi. You're feeding your boyfriend.
Well, I hope you guys found some value in this and that you get to use it at home with your own birds, or maybe you spend time volunteering at a rescue and you can implement it there or share the information with a bird lover that you know. So the more that we can spread this kind of information, the better quality of life that we can provide for these guys. So please help me in spreading these resources, especially my free resources that I have available on my website. I'll leave a link to my freebies in general because I have more than one, but this is kind of what I wanted to talk about today and spread more knowledge on. So definitely share what you end up doing in the comments below or on social media. Make sure to tag me so I can see that this information is reaching more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like this video so it reaches more people who need this kind of information.